Bloody Mary Podcast. Welcome to the Bloody Mary Podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami, and we are totally married.
And with us tonight to talk about our favorite effects in horror films is a rad special guest. She has done special effects, makeup, creature design, and all that cool stuff in film and theater. We've worked together on many projects. Most notably, she did special effects for the multi-award-winning short film Night of the Witch that I think you got an award for, right?
Yeah, I think two.
Yeah, two.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd like to welcome Amy Calkins to the show. Hey.
Welcome.
It's about time.
Yeah. I thought I was written off.
No.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a lot of effects for me over the years, or just we've done effects together on a lot of films.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember it was a 50-hour film festival, the first one that I did with Ron Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was sitting there, you had one in there. And I remember it was something about someone was going down in a basement and there was a lot of blood in a kitchen. And I said, that guy. I need to work with that guy.
Yes.
I need to work with the guy with all the blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And kind of the same for me. I remember as I was getting deeper into filmmaking, making a few things, probably stuff like that. And I was doing like the blood myself for the most part, whoever helped me, like Steve or just some other person. And I was like, okay, I should start bringing in crew members. And you were one of the first ones I came on to do like blood and stuff, I think, right? What's the first thing we worked on? Was it a Mr. Dark? Probably.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helping like with the ghost makeup.
Yeah, it was. Well, I didn't do the ghost makeup. I did the demon.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. That was fun. And then like shortly after that, I think, well, we'll get into this later, right?
Yeah.
We have a whole
We have an outline, sir.
I'm sorry.
You're
Yeah,
just jumping ahead.
So anyways, we asked our guests this question. What's your favorite horror film and why?
So this took a little bit of thinking, totally, because nothing has scared me for like ever. And of course, one of my favorite films, we watched it over and over again, is Legend with Tom Cruise.
We were just talking about that last night, and I was like, oh my God, the last time I watched that was at Amy's house during the Night of the Witch trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all night we watched that. But the only film that ever scared me that I can remember is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
The original.
The original
OG.
one. Yeah. It was, and still just the best, because I would still do the Tina, or the kitty thing that he does in that.
Yeah.
Chow, chow, chow.
There's some scary moments in there, especially like, isn't there one with a shadow and he's in the alley?
It's him walking down the alley and his arms get very, very long, and he starts scraping the fencing, and you see his knife blades, and that's during Tina's dream.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then okay. Then
And the bathroom, the classic image, the hand coming out of the tub.
I cannot take a bath. I still don't like baths. I still think about it.
That's so great. It's funny. I was the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I watched was part 2, and I was really young, and that was my first exposure to Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first one first.
The first one first? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like discovered Nightmare on Elm Street when it was more popular, when it was like into pop culture and he was funny. Mm-hmm. Like because he later just kind of became slapsticky with the horror.
Yeah.
And the first 2 was scary, right?
Yeah.
And then 3, he was leaning into more of the comedy. 3 was a great balance of both worlds, but then 4, 5 on, and he got pretty silly playing Nintendo.
Oh gosh,
people.
that one.
But the first one's scary. Yeah.
First one is scary.
That's a good. What are some good effects in that?
So back into Tina's dream,
Yeah.
which was one of my favorite effects thing, is when she gets slashed open, boyfriend wakes up, and her body goes up the wall and the ceiling and stuff.
That's iconic for sure.
Oh, and it's gruesomely bloody when she slaps to the ground and everything is just covered in blood.
Because I think they had like the room was upside down so she could do that or something, or it was on it.
The room rotated, I
The
believe.
room rotated.
It was able to rotate
Yeah.
so they could get all of this, the shots and stuff that they wanted.
That's cool. I want a rotator room.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah. The Johnny Depp kill was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Then he gets sucked into his waterbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blood
Yep.
geyser bed.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
good pick.
That's a Jesse move there. Blood geyser.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been itching to do more blood in film. Speaking of more blood in film, what got you into effects and special effects in film and theater?
Well, I have always just done makeup in general. Like Halloween is my favorite. And I was always doing, from my teenage years, doing my makeup in competitions. And then when I was able to go out to bars and winning competitions. And then it was, I went to a sci-fi, no, I was an extra. So I was an extra in Knights of Badass Dome.
Oh,
and I
cool.
met all these other fellow nerds
Yeah,
who were
yeah.
like LARPers and they went to sci-fi conventions. And I said, that stuff is rad. I want to check out a sci-fi convention.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, you know how to do makeup. Well, we're kind of like amateur filmmakers and we're making zombie movies and stuff. Come do our zombie makeup. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I was at the sci-fi convention, they were talking about special effects makeup stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to go to that and see what I learn. And I ended up from the crowd telling them more. And they said, next year, you're going to be sitting up here, which I was for many years after. But it just kind of morphed from that of the people that I knew and the little films that they were doing. And then some coworkers of mine were like into the theater and they're like, you should go to the theater and see if they need your help and stuff. So
And just kind of snowballed from there.
just snowballed. I was marketing my ass off.
Yeah.
Totally networking with everybody all the time.
Yeah,
That's
I think I
awesome.
remember that. I remember that you're running a couple different social media accounts and all that stuff. Yeah. you're
Yeah,
Really
trying
going
to go
for
to
it.
everything that was
Yeah.
happening in the 50-hour slams and
Oh, yeah.
the meeting, the award things, whatever it was, just to get out there and meet other filmmakers and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's how you do it in the beginning. I mean, that's what I did when I, started filmmaking. I was hitting all the fests, doing all the slams, the 50-hour, the 48-hour when that existed.
Yeah.
Then like doing national ones, international ones, doing weird ones like the Straight 8 only film contest, stuff like that, and networking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of networking.
Yeah.
There was one time that someone asked me to come to and speak to local filmmakers and stuff just on the makeup aspect. And because it's kind of like a weird world between a director and the makeup department and the makeup artist. There's so many times I've worked on a film and it was like, well, I ask, what do you want? And they're like, well, what do you want to create? I'm like, well, what is your vision? And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
this
right?
back and
Yeah.
forth thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's kind of tough. It's like, I am the creator of your vision. So then it would be like we've done is give me some ideas and you would give
Yeah.
me a couple photos and stuff of things. And then I just kind of morph them together and
Yeah.
come up with what we got. And I pray that you love it.
Oh yeah. No, I've loved I think most of everything we've done. I think right. Or
Yeah,
all
I
of
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know. Is there something you
I
haven't
know
told
you
me?
want to do it, tell her.
No, they're all good. I'm sure. Yeah. No, I hope that that's how you should do it, right? You have a vision and present it to you, and then you throw stuff back, and then it's like a
Yeah, there's been some-
Collaboration.
Yeah, there was one that I worked on. It's a network television show. Tell me, you got my IMDb
I
up?
do. I have
Is
her-
it 72 hours late? 72-hour lockdown?
28 hours later, the zombie movie.
72-hour lockdown. It's a
the-
lockdown. It's a network show.
Okay. I'm not seeing it here, but continue.
Okay. Well, they came to Pullman area.
Paranormal lockdown.
Paranormal lockdown.
All right.
Yeah. I thought
Gotcha.
they did so many hours in
Yep.
the title, but anyways, I went and worked on that, and it was like a last minute thing. And they called me and they're like, yeah, what they wanted me to do is replicate the first original deaths that happened. This hospital is haunted.
Yeah.
And so one was the first guy got squished by a train. He worked on the train, and he was the first person to die. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. Another was a farmer who had a severe accident, and they wanted a skill saw, not a skill saw, but a saw blade, like the round one, in the guy's head. And I'm like, dude, do you know how much that weighs? Like,
Right.
how am I gonna? And they went ahead and went and cut one. They went and
Oh,
had
the
it cut
actual blade?
The actual
Oh.
blade, and they wanted me to attach a blade to it.
That's heavy.
And
They're
also
not
a
gonna-
little dangerous.
Yeah,
Dangerous, heavy.
I'm like, this is impossible
Yeah.
with what I have. This is not going to happen. So I just did some major wounds on the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, they had 3 different size and weight things. I was like, it's not happening.
You're like, guys,
I
it's
go-
not actually in his head to like support
Yeah.
that weight.
Yeah,
So-
I
So
was
it's
like,
crazy.
in the world, you would make a fake one that looks real.
Right.
You want some foam, some rubber,
Yeah.
something like that. So there was a whole department that already like went ahead and like cut that, and you
Yeah.
showed up and they're like, put it on his head.
Yes.
That's nuts.
And they told
Yeah.
me they never did, they never had a makeup artist. They always just did their own little makeup thing because it's a ghost haunting thing. And they would only just kind of do some they would have a little intro to just show the people who died there, the story, you know.
Okay.
So it's not like they were faking ghosts or anything.
Right.
Paranormal lockdown, huh?
Yeah, and they're like, yeah,
There it
it's
is.
usually just me or my brother here just putting blood all over the place. And when I was doing the blood, they were like, wow, like, what blood do you use? You know?
Yeah.
You're like, wait, tell us more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your blood has always been on point.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of, leads us into the next question. What are your favorite special effects or designs or whatever that you've done for film and theater?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
I mean, I could tell you probably some of mine that you've done, but we'll let you go first.
So I would say, so I'm going to go with like the first thing I'll talk about is in theater when I did Young Frankenstein. They were playing Young Frankenstein, and Drake Heron was the monster, and I got to create the monster.
That's
So
fun.
That is fun.
And so you have kind of like 2 options. I tell the director, I go, I can go online and I can find you the cowl that you put on and stuff, or I can make you one. And they're like, well, and because theater's cheap,
Right.
they're like, well, if you can make one, I'm like, I would love to make you one.
You're like, yes, please. That's what
And
I wanted you
and
to
I thought,
say.
like, maybe I'll make 2, but so I got to, and I love hand building these things, and I've
Yeah.
never done them before in my life ever. And it's just that creative outlet that the theater would always give me this really unique challenge. So I built that whole head cowl piece and making the stitching and the blood coming through the stitching and all
That's
this
rad.
intricate
Yeah.
stuff, and where we could use it over and over and over again throughout the run. So that was one of my favorite things in the theater that I got to do. And then for years, so the beer can gag.
Oh yeah,
was so
that's
fun.
one of my favorites too. I mean, that's so good that I'm like, I might be writing it into a bigger feature of Night of the Witch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That was very, I mean, how did you ever think of that first off?
I don't know. I just thought it was fun, like a knife through a beer can, and then the idea of having 2 liquids spraying at the same time is really, the beer and the blood, because I knew that these characters would have beer and weed, and I think I was thinking about, well, was there something we can do with like weed or joints or a bong? Bong's been done so many times where it's broken in someone's face, so let's do the beer can, and
Yeah.
it's just fun. You have all that spraying beer and blood.
Yeah. And it was, that was a challenge.
And it was perfect. Yeah. Like the end result was like perfect. It was awesome. Yeah. You check it out. I'll put links to everything we're talking about. It's really cool.
Yeah. So that one was a great effect. I was like, pat myself on the back because
Yeah.
I mean, I have never engineered that before.
Yeah.
And so being able to have that challenge of figuring it out, putting it together, seeing how it goes. And of course, I always love the question of how far is this going to spray? And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know.
You're like,
We're talking
As
about,
far as we can go.
yeah, it's like you test it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know, things happen.
right.
Right.
So
yeah.
as we've learned, blood has gone places we didn't think
Oh,
it would
it
go.
Might
Yeah.
just drip a little bit on the floor, or it sprays all over your
What?
living room.
I don't know, whatever. It's all for the shot. It's all for the shot.
Yeah.
But we did have blood and beer spray at the same time, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
It was.
And that was double hoses and
Yeah.
2 containers and
Was it 2 fire extinguishers or was it two
No.
pumps?
it was 1 fire extinguisher for the beer
Yeah.
because that had to have a bigger spray, and
Yeah.
it was just a pump for the blood because it was more of the
Coming out the mouth.
drizzling
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so
Yeah.
cool.
That
Yeah,
was so
I love
cool.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3. What do I got here? Oh,
What?
the
Number
the-
3?
No,
on my 3
Oh
effects.
yeah. Yeah. Your next favorite one.
My
What
next
else you
favorite
got?
one. The Red Demon
The Red Demon.
on Mr. Dark.
Oh
Yes!
yeah, that's the last thing we worked on, right?
I think so.
Yeah. My short film, Mr. Dark, Take It, Eat It, Love It. You created a red demon girl.
Joan Jett style.
Yep.
Yeah. She
Sarah,
was so badass.
Sarah Dahman, great actress. She played the demon, and that was really cool. That was rock star.
Yeah.
I wanted to do more with her and more with that character.
That character.
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
That was
It-
so
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
my favorite is when she opens the doors and then it
Yeah.
just lit by like 80s.
Yeah, backlit
That was
there.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a black leather, red demon, big black hair, just rock star demon.
Yeah.
And then she brought a swagger to it, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That
Yeah.
was a good one.
And it was also cool in kind of its simplicity of, we didn't put any like latex on her. We didn't do any extra stuff. It was just color. It was makeup. It was highlighting. It was blacks. It was reds. It was blending, and you gave it dimension too without adding all that extra stuff, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did she put contacts in, or was it just her eyes? I think it was just her
I
eyes.
think it was just her eyes.
Yeah, I think I veered away from contacts after a little bit.
I
Yeah.
don't think she had. Yeah, I don't remember her having
I
contacts.
always have been one who tried to defer, like, don't put contacts in your eyes.
Yeah.
Because it can cause damage.
Yeah, unless you get we did it a couple times, but it was like at the risk of the actor. You should get a prescription if you're doing that.
Yeah.
From your eye doctor, and then get special ones, definitely, so that you can see out of and that are comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If any independent filmmakers out there, you want some colored eyes, go the safe route. Have them go to.
Because that would be
the
so
eye
hard as an
doctor.
actor
Yeah.
to like put contact. Like have to wear contacts. I can't see anything if I
Yeah.
don't. And if I had to put like just random contacts in and not be able to
Just-
see, I'd be
just
like,
hitting shit.
I can't see nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be hard.
Yeah. Well, cool. Let's get into some fun stuff.
Okay.
What we're one of the things we're here to talk about, which
Yeah.
is our favorite effects in horror films, and the perfect person to have on for this one. So we're gonna pick our 3 favorite effects in horror films.
Yeah.
And-
So, Amy, what's yours?
What's your 3rd favorite?
My.
We'll go up to our favorites.
Oh.
What?
Gee, I don't know if I can think of like that many. Like,
Okay,
so
yeah.
so one of them. Okay, so I guess it would be like 3rd favorite because it's not real practical effects. It's more of that computer animated effects. But Deadpool. When the motorcycle hits and the head goes flying off, like I pause that just to watch that happen, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Was there blood in that?
I don't know if there was there. It happened too
Yeah.
fast. It was boom, boom, boom. That's
That's
why I had
awesome.
to like slow it down. I'm like, well, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I just think I saw a head
Yeah.
flying off that motorcycle rider. So I had to slow it down.
Well, it was fun too because I think that was at a time where we hadn't seen anything like that from Marvel.
Yeah.
Because it was all PG 13. The last time we saw something like that was like Blade in like the 90s, and then here comes Deadpool
Yeah.
throwing heads around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? What's like your third favorite effect? Or
Okay, so there's so many that I like.
yeah, I know.
I would say the one that on the Scream 5, which is my favorite kill there.
Okay,
the
yeah.
effect where Wes gets stabbed in the neck, and then just watching that knife go in, it was.
Have you
I
seen
love that.
Scream 5?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh my god, the effect is just like, it looks so cool.
It was a slow knife stab, like trying to stop it, right? Was it?
right, and then it just
And
went
then and into the neck.
But it was so smooth,
And it was off to like the side.
yeah, it was like to the side right here.
It was really interesting.
It was really interesting. It was smooth, and it looked so good.
It was like going into butter because
Yeah.
you could see the outline of the blade since it wasn't going like in here. It was off to the side.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Yeah.
that's mine.
That's awesome.
What's yours?
You know, I liked all the stuff in Fright Night, 1985.
Yes.
All those effects were really good.
I enjoyed the
Probably my favorite was Amy, the character Amy, her big vampire smile.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Fright
Yeah.
Night 1985? That was terrifying. That was scary. That was really cool. Also, just the effects in general, because the effects team for that did Ghostbusters, and then they got it for Fright Night. That whole crew, I think. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I like that one.
All right. So what's your number 2?
It's like I'm thinking back. You go with some. I do have so much pride and respect for the old school stuff. And I am a lover of Creepshow, and there we go.
I got the shirt on right here.
So, you know, the birthday cake one.
That
with
was
the-
cool.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
head.
You remember that? It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was like he came back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have the image in my head, but I don't really remember the story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
anyways,
it was the birthday
yeah.
cake head type thing.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I remember Creepshow 2 had some really good effects too. Like there's that one segment where they're stuck out on that raft, and there's this black sludge in the lake that's like hunting them, and
Yep.
like it's eating people. That was really cool. That was a good one.
Was it a raft or a dock? I think it was a dock.
A dock.
'Cause they were in a pond type
It didn't
thing.
move. It was out there in the middle of.
Yeah.
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 That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and watch Creepshow again, the first one. I haven't seen it in so long.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think I've seen it in a long, long time.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't remember most of it.
What about you? What?
We talked about it earlier. The blood geyser, in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Oh.
That was awesome. I
Yeah.
remember being little and being like, "That is so cool."
Yeah.
Just epic amounts of blood.
Just epic amount. I love that one
Yeah.
a lot.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
what about you?
Um,
What's your number 2?
you know, I like Tarman from Return of the Living Dead.
Oh,
He was a good design, and he had all that slime on him. So it was so layered because it was whatever mask and however his face was moving underneath whatever prosthetics they were using. And then his wardrobe, it was like the hanging shredded clothes that was all slimy, and the layer of slime on him, and the way he moved. That was a good one. And really that whole movie is just chock full of cool effects for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. I love that. Yeah. There's like the yellow zombie in the beginning was really fun. It's pretty simple, but I don't know why he was yellow. It was still cool.
'cause.
There's like a half
It's a
dog
style
that's
choice.
dead, you know, because it was like a half dog.
Right.
And that was alive. It was just simple things in Return of the Living Dead that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's your favorite horror effect of all time? In film.
Well, we touched on it too in the Nightmare on Elm Street and Tina's Dream, where she's going up the ceiling and stuff. Like that was totally epic.
We're hitting Nightmare on Elm Street a lot. That's
Yeah.
cool. I didn't expect that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good one. The rotating room and the blood everywhere. I don't. Had there been anything like that prior to Nightmare on Elm Street?
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
that was, I mean, because I remember as a child in the 80s, like Jaws was a scary movie,
Right.
you know. But no, Nightmare on Elm Street was
So
it was mind blowing.
did you see it in the theater, or where's?
Oh no, we're too poor for the theater.
Oh no,
No, it was on beta.
So, yes, the beta that you stole from someone, right?
Yeah.
Give me your
Yeah.
Betamax.
My
of Nightmare on
mom
Elm
worked
Street.
at a movie rental place.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of free rentals then.
Yep.
Well, my dad did kind of too. He was a meat cutter in a small town grocery store, and then in the corner they had the video rental section.
Oh,
So
yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Cutting meat and videos.
Getting me and watching movies.
Yeah.
but Betamax, huh? You were one of those families that went Betamax.
Yeah.
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 That didn't turn out well, huh?
I didn't catch.
No.
Yeah. I still have a couple Betamax floating around here. Yeah. Well, what's your favorite effects?
Honestly, all the effects in the thing.
Yeah.
That is like
Right.
so good. When we went when it was at the Garland the last time, this year, right?
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah.
Just getting to watch it on the big screen.
That
and
was
then,
really
like,
cool. Yeah.
That all of the dogs, the autopsy, the head grown, like all of
Yeah.
it, all the effects
Mm-hmm.
in that are just like so good.
Top notch. You know, that's my favorite too. The thing. I really like the effect where the head is tearing itself apart from the body, and then the spider legs pop out of it,
Yeah.
and then it crawls around.
I don't like spiders and spider legs.
And then the guy looks, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
flamethrower that bitch.
Right? Yeah, even stuff like that are really, it was like practical fire and things were on fire, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like you could, and there was some stuff at the end that was claymation or stop motion, like the big creature, but it was still really fun. There's so many good effects in the thing. Yeah, another one was when he's like doing the electric paddles on the guy's chest. Clear, goo, clear. And then it opens up with teeth and
Yeah.
then it takes his hands off. That was really cool.
Just all of those
Yeah.
are just so good.
Yeah.
And there's a weird design with the creatures too that was just so visceral. And it was so bizarre, and like you felt it watching it. Like even the stuff that was dead or supposed to be dead, it was just really interestingly made. Like I'd be curious to know. Like I guess I haven't dove deep like what they used to make a lot of this stuff, but yeah, that movie's awesome.
To me, I always wonder, like, who the hell thought of that?
Right.
Like, was this in a nightmare that
Right.
someone had and they wrote it down as a creature, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's fun to. I mean, if that's like your movie, it would be fun to sit down and think of, really cool horror things that you could do with like an alien taking hold of someone's body and it's trying to mimic them. Like what happens if you interrupt it? And
Right.
yeah, all that. That'd be fun.
What would it look like?
Yeah.
What does it look like with the dogs? Like
But yeah, some of
Those-
that stuff, like the dog thing with the twirling weird like flower head, that's like, and they're spraying weird mucus everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, a lot of that stuff too. Maybe everyone's like really high in a room, like, what'd be cool? Let's just spray like mucus everywhere, man.
Yeah.
make it look like a flower truly.
Yeah.
Another like really cool effect is just Friday the 13th, that whole series. Every time like the mask is revealed to see Jason, I remember as a kid watching it and just being excited to see what his face looks like this time.
Yeah.
Because like you get
Right.
every reveal of his face is so different.
Yeah.
There's some variations. You have human weird mutant, and then he
Zombie.
should be dead, and
Zombie
then
Jason.
zombie. My favorite, I think, is part 4, where Tom Savini did his face, and that was really scary when I was younger. Yeah. What are some special nods from, or any other ones you guys have?
I enjoyed Terrifier 1 where he cuts her in half.
Oh, have you seen Terrifier?
No.
He like hangs up this blonde chick and
From her
then
ankles.
cuts her from vagina all the way down in half.
In half. And it's
Okay.
just like and he's just sawing away and the body
It's
just
so-
Is he using a sawzall? Or a handsaw?
handsaw. Oh no, he's hands on that.
And you hear like
And you hear it and everything.
He must be a lumberjack because
I
I've
don't-
cut some wood with a handsaw and I'm tired after 4 strokes. I'm
Well,
like,
he cut a girl in half.
you're like halfway down the groin. 4 strokes.
Oh, Still, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to admit though, like that movie Terrifier is fun and Terrifier 2 are fun, but the gore goes a little too far for me.
Oh yeah, the second one. I mean, the
Yeah.
gore was pretty gruesome in that one.
Yeah, I like my gore and effects to have a fun twist to it, right? Like Evil Dead 2 kind of stuff where you have blood blasting from walls and there's a little bit of levity to your gore. Like when it gets too real and too like body,
And it
freaks
hurts.
It hurts. It freaks me out a
Like
little bit.
Hostel.
Yeah, that stuff is. Yeah. No.
The guy that likes a lot of blood on set actually doesn't like real blood at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I learned
I
that,
don't know who you're talking about.
I was like, because I like fell and I busted my face open. And we were dating. And I sent him a picture, and he was like, "Wait, is that real blood?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my god, don't show me." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
The guy
I was
who's
like,
talking
I was
about
just
is
on
me.
I was just on a set,
In case you're
and
wondering.
like there was blood everywhere. And he's like, "Yeah, but that was fake, and that's like real,
Yeah, I don't like real blood, but fake blood all day because you know
fake
it's
blood all
pretend.
day." So I was just
Yeah.
like, "Really? Okay."
Yeah, not a fan.
I can handle either of it,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Well, I mean, I worked in the medical field before I went into the legal field, and so that's
Okay.
what I brought with me is the realism abilities because
Yeah.
I've seen it all, pretty
Gotcha.
much. Lots of
That's helpful.
gory stuff.
How
Yeah.
long did you do that for?
13 years.
13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. And then the coolest thing that happened to me is kind of cool, kind of not, but
Yeah.
like a year ago, I was met up with my daughter and my grandsons, and they were camping. I said, "Oh, I'll take the grandsons fishing," and I'm like tying up a line, and I heard someone yelling and this kid, and I thought an old person fell. So I went running towards him as the kid went running towards me, and he said, he fell, and I'm like, okay. And I ran up to him, and it was a kid on a skateboard. He was coming down a hill, and he's on his hands and knees, and he looks up at me and is gushing blood from his head.
No.
And I said to him, "Don't worry. It's only bleeding because it's a head wound, because they'll bleed a lot more."
Right.
Oh gosh.
So I got behind him and I had him lean up against my chest, and I was like 3 seconds from taking my shirt off. But then a guy came up and I'm like, "Give me your shirt," and put it on his head and
God.
held it there and just talked to this kid until and my daughter was calling 911 and stuff like that. But
That's even making me like squirm now. Like,
oh well, and
talking
it was worse
No,
than
no,
I
no.
thought, because when the EMT guys came and they're doing
getting a
all
little
their
woozy here.
they're doing all their stuff, and I was talking to him after they loaded him up into the ambulance, and I was talking to him. I said, "Well, thank God he didn't hit this rock wall that's right there." And the adult male that was with him said, "Oh, but he did. Don't listen to this. Oh, but he did." And he walks over, and there's this jagged piece of rock that's sticking out like this, and his scalp is there. And
Oh my god.
No.
and then I was like, okay, that's very important for them to know the
Yuck.
severity
Right.
of this. So
My
they took
butt's quivering.
they took the kid to the hospital. I ended up meeting with the parents and talking to them afterwards because they lived in Pasco and stuff. But this kid had no permanent damage at all.
Really?
That's why I don't.
Holy shit.
Yeah, none whatsoever. I was like, his scalp was like, his bones were caved in. They had to put a little plate there and stuff.
Oh my god.
And he had nothing, no neurological, nothing.
That's a blessing.
Oh,
That's good.
yeah.
And he's like, "Am we done now?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
can we move on?
I've just hurt myself a lot, and I've bled a lot,
boy.
and my son, and so like one time I cut my finger, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I come down, I'm holding it, and I'm like, "James, James, James." And Jesse's like, "What?" And I go, "No." Me and James both go, "Nope." Just stay in the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
James
don't
is like,
look.
"Got you, Mom." And I'm just like, hold my fat's popping out and everything.
So I bet that all helps with actual effects.
Yes, it helps with effects. You got to look at this stuff to know what you need to look like.
Ew. Oh my god,
love
that's so
creeping you
gross.
out.
That's so gross.
I love it.
Well, cool.
Do you have any
on that
honorable
note.
mentions for special effects besides your top 3 that you like?
Some of my stuff kind of goes like way old school, like the Blob.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I like, the Blob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blob does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, and I think it was a creep show one where it was the meteor that came and crashed, and Billy Bob got covered in that green stuff.
I love that one. That's
Yeah.
like I think that's my favorite one because Stephen King played that character.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it was like a progression of the green was growing on
Yeah.
him, and then the ending.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was good.
So I have a question before we jump into the
Yes.
stuff that you guys done. What is your favorite thing to do?
Not zombies.
Not zombies.
Not zombies?
Zombies. Fuck zombies. So done with it.
That's so
Yeah.
rad.
We're gonna title the podcast "Fuck Zombies."
Well, this is a great segue. So let's talk about this photo, this zombie you did for me.
Yeah. And that is like the best zombie.
So this is this picture is of Jason Young and Amy Calkins, and this is a zombie that she made for our film Nuclear Waste, which was our entry for the Straight 8 Super 8 film challenge.
Yeah.
And I think the zombie turned out really cool.
Yeah.
So but you did not like making this?
No, okay, that's not the typical zombie. And I didn't ever really characterize that one as a zombie.
Yeah, okay.
He was, I mean, I guess really like,
He was in a bucket deteriorating, and
he wasn't eating people, he was vomiting on them,
he was, which
creating other,
we could talk
creatures.
about that too. We
Yeah.
can talk about the vomiting was also, that's on my list of favorite things that we've ever done, because we had a vomit cannon. You made a vomit cannon for Nuclear Waste that we did.
yeah.
And that was really cool because how did that go? Because we wanted, because we did a one-shot take and we needed blood to, or vomit to just shoot, like just
Yeah.
really hard. So
Yep.
you're like, I'll make a vomit cannon. Is that how that went?
Yeah.
You're like vomit cannon, not a problem.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yep.
And how'd you make that?
It's just like your typical potato shooter.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
But
you
with vomit?
fill up. Yeah, you just fill up your one side with your pressurized,
Yeah.
and then you put your fluid in, and then you open up the valve, pushes it all out.
And what did we use for vomit?
Oh, vomit was tapioca pudding.
Yeah, it was. We had so much
Yeah.
Jello. We had so many Jello packets. I remember that.
It was like pudding and Jello. Yeah, that's what it was. It was food.
That was cool. That
It
was
was
cool.
good.
That was the first film set that I was ever on.
It
And
is.
James, because
Yeah.
that's how we met. Like
Oh.
he had me start. I did the poster for Nuclear Waste, and so
Yeah.
I came
Yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah.
And I brought James, and like he talked about it for like a week
Because
plus.
there was naked women running
no,
around.
he would no. It was that he likes doing the special effects,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so he always has as a kid too. And so like your creation and the vomit cannon
I'm
and
sure
everything.
the half-naked people
I'm
worked
sure-
into it a little
yeah,
bit.
I'm sure it is too,
you
but-
know.
But that's all he talked about was like that stuff. Because
Yeah.
he
To you,
really,
then he went like to his
Well,
buddies and
yeah,
was like,
whatever.
"Did you see?
There
Oh my
was
God,
girls.
there's boobs. There was Dan Anderson's tits."
But that was really like that was the first time that him and I were ever on a set.
Yeah.
So that was a fun experience for
yeah.
us.
That
I was
leads
snagging
into
you.
this. Here you go.
Oh, what do we
Oh.
got here?
Yeah.
Two solar LED post cap lights. Thank you.
Well, I want you to be able to see it.
It says saved for Jesse H. So I don't know what this is. Let's open this up here live on the
Dun, dun, dun,
podcast. Oh, is this Jace? Is this the zombie's face?
This is the zombie's whole face, cowl,
Oh my
headpiece,
God.
and everything. Yeah.
Check it out right
Ooh,
there.
that's awesome.
This is like
Yeah.
Leatherface cowl. All right, what else is in here?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't think you had that anymore.
Oh yeah, I keep the cool
and
shit.
the beer can gag.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you got rid of a lot of your stuff, right?
Actually, I tried to get rid of it, but
You still got it.
I still have it. Like
Awesome.
I had a yard sale thing and nobody came, but
Yeah.
Ron Ford came and he bought a couple little things, but he came with no money. So I was like,
I'm here for your
yeah.
yard sale.
When I said I was like, I'm done, and he's like, I want all your blood gigs, and I'm like, you gotta pay for that stuff because
Oh, that's funny.
I had to pay for that stuff
Yeah.
to build it.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
exciting.
Thanks for this. This is
Yeah.
that's a cool one. Thanks.
Yeah, if you got a head laying around, you can just put it on there.
We have a couple heads.
Yeah,
in
we,
there.
I think we got a few laying around somewhere. But like, we worked on Night of the Witch on all iterations together.
Yeah.
So Night of the Witch is my film project. We started doing a crowdfunding campaign for a feature film. So we shot a proof of concept trailer on your property.
Yeah.
And then the next year we shot a short film. And then the year after that, we did reshoots to make the short film better. And then it went out to get shown everywhere, win awards,
Festivals.
all that stuff, a butt ton of awards. People love it. It's still being played now. Like there's a film festival in Canada that asked if they could just play it because it was their favorite film that they've had in their horror entries. So
Well, and I was talking to someone out at the bar out where I live.
yeah,
Because I live out in the woods. And we have a couple, hick bars.
yeah, for sure.
And a gentleman there that I hadn't seen in, I think, almost a year.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I watched those films that you did. And I was like, I don't remember telling him. And he's like, yeah, you told me about those ones. And there was this one I really liked. I really wish there was more of it. And it was Night of the Witch.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
People love it. Yeah. I'm going to have to give people what they want. So
You are.
So we'll see. But anyways, let's look at a couple pictures. We'll go all the way back to the proof of concept trailer shoot on your property. Does that bring back memories? This is a picture of you, all of us, or you and our director of photography, the actor, and some extras around the camera.
Yeah.
And that was after doing
the epic.
throat slit gag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was so great. I mean, just seeing him dressed in all the plastic bags and stuff was hilarious.
Oh yeah, we had our director of photography, Jade,
covered in
is
plastic
awesome.
bags.
And then he just threw on, I think, a garbage bag on his torso, and then I'm pretty sure he wrapped his feet too.
Yeah, I
he
think
didn't want to get
for
his
his shoes. Yeah.
That was really cool.
But
yeah.
there's a photo of you that someone got where you're just like, yeah, getting showered in blood.
Really?
Yeah, you're all smiles.
I need to see that. Well, that's fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
What was your tell me about that
Sweeney
that weekend.
Todd.
Tell me about that filming weekend where we shot in 2016 on your property. What are your fond memories from that?
Well,
Or bad memories.
no sleep.
I do remember that. I remember feeling bad that you had to like get up one of the next mornings, and I think I was like, crap.
Yeah, I tried to sleep in between because it's always like hurry up and wait on set and stuff or makeup or blood or whatever. And I'm like, okay, how long do I have? I'm going to go and sleep for a little bit before I'm running the 4-wheeler with the camera guy in the back through the woods.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool shot. That's one of my favorite shots from that whole thing where we had, like you said, he was on the back of the 4-wheeler. You were driving. We had fog rolling through the woods. We had our characters running.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Just a couple second shot, but
that was the perfect spot, which is no longer there.
Oh,
because
dang.
I think it was the next year after or whatever those trees started falling across that area, and now that whole field is being developed and stuff like that. But
yeah,
that was an epic shot. That was worth waking up for too.
That's
that was
awesome.
fun.
We'll leave you a link to the Night of the Witch proof of concept trailer so you can check it out. And the throat slit that we just talked about, that was really good too.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple gags that didn't make it in there, some that didn't work. I remember you weren't there for it. I think Teresa was. She was also doing like blood and helping out and doing some other stuff as well. She did the witch makeup, right?
She did the witch makeup
the whole time. Yes, she did. Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of forget because people have jumped around with the various projects doing things. But we had one where like Maxine, who played Logan, she had her like throat slit and she was crawling through the ditch. And and it just, I think she did good, but the problem was we were hitting daylight and it was just morning.
Yeah.
And the whole trailer is supposed to be at night. So that sucked. But there's some stuff that, that always gets left on the cutting room floor with any project you do.
Yeah.
For me, that weekend was really awesome because that was the first time I had a legitimate film crew. We had a film truck come and all that stuff because up until then I had done stuff, run and gun myself and a couple people. I think you had helped with like Mr. Dark. So the crew was, getting a little bit bigger. But for the most part, I was shooting, I was directing, I was writing, I was setting up, tearing down. And this was the first time that a whole crew came with like legit equipment in a truck.
Which just brought to mind another great shot on that is the chainsaw.
That was
Yes.
that was a great one.
That's one of the best. That's she really got into it too. Is the chainsaw was going, so she's sawing down and blood spraying up, and she's just screaming.
And it's cold. You see her breath in the fog, and
that shot was perfect. That was really good. I had a lot of fond memories from that. And then that's you were on set too there with James, and you this was also like another, I think the second time you'd came on set, but we still weren't dating.
No, we you after I did the poster for Nuclear Waste, you were like, hey, you want to do some promo art I'm working on I want to do a feature. So I did promo art, and then you're like, hey, do you want to storyboard it? And I'm like,
because your storyboards suck.
I'm like
stick figures.
I've never storyboarded, but he's cute. Like, I like him. Okay, come over.
Yeah.
So just come to the house. And then I think you asked me to go thrifting for costumes. And stuff. And so like we weren't dating, but
so our like courtship was horror movies.
Yeah.
It was
pretty
awesome.
Cool.
There you go.
And then like
It's what love is made of.
Right? blood and tacos. So just that weekend was really cool. And then we didn't raise enough money for a feature, but we had enough, half of it ended up being more expensive, but we had money to make a short film. So then a year later we shot principal photography for that, and you were on set doing effects and stuff. And I don't have many photos, but I do have this one of Emily caked in blood. And I remember these characters too. I was like, more blood, and I think that was like my thing a lot of times. I'm sure was like, just add more, add more. And eventually I think by the time we got to a few years of us doing some stuff together, how much blood I'd want. Like, oh, he's gonna want a lot more. So what are your memories of shooting Night of the Witch at
this old Safeway building?
I remember
we had a huge grocery store building empty.
And what is her name who does the music composition?
Tanya.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend at the time, I don't think they're together still, but shot him with blood and it hit his nose. I think it gave him a real bloody nose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, by like hitting him with blood?
Yeah, I think it was the projectile of the spray, because he had to get sprayed with blood when the murder happens in the van or something.
If that's what happened, I didn't even use that shot, because I remember because he was screaming, and then we had him. Then I just cut to everyone's covered in blood. So did we do that? Did we spray him?
I think, I gave him a burst of spray of blood.
Oh, maybe that's awesome. I gave him a bloody nose. Did he say that gave me a bloody nose? I would imagine.
Kind of like right after, like, I think I got a real bloody nose. I was like, I am so sorry, because I was trying to hit more of cheek than,
then
sorry,
straight
man.
on.
It looked really cool.
On.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
I always joke too with people as like, when I'm doing effects, makeup, bruising or whatever, I'm like, I believe in real stuff.
That's awesome.
And they're like, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did we shot the beer can gag that weekend?
Yeah.
And then we next year we added some stuff to it, but that was like the main principal photography for the beer can gag.
Yeah.
And that turned out really good.
And I really loved on our third and last shooting was the chest cavity, pulling out the heart out of the chest cavity.
Chest cavity. Did we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't ever.
Because the witch came up and like reached inside her, pulled.
I can't even remember my own stuff.
Yeah.
So and when our pickup shot weekend, we had a false torso, and then the hand went in, grabbed the heart and pulled it out. That was cool.
Yep, making that happen was cool.
Yeah. What else from the first filming weekend? What other effects? There was some stuff too that, since we didn't use the third act we shot, that was left on the cutting room floor. I remember we had a knife inside of Chris Henson's body.
Yeah.
And then didn't she have to pull it out?
No. There is no way of pulling that out.
No.
Yeah.
That was a last minute thing that I was not informed was going to happen.
Sorry.
And I was like, one of those things. And I'm going, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off.
Yeah.
And I sent someone to get, I think I brought my hot glue guns. Somebody had to get some tape or some thread or something, but I had to pull a rabbit out of my hat on set to get that to sit. It had to just sit in his chest in his wife beater. Oh, we had to have him get a double wife beater.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say I was so deep in it that was a crazy filming weekend. There's like even to this day I still learn of things that I think you told me that, but I didn't know like you guys had to run to get supplies for it.
Yeah.
I went next door to the Rite Aid so many times, and they're like, "Oh, you're back again." I'm like, "Hi, it's me. I need."
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. I do remember really liking that, and it turned out really well, but it sucks that we never used it, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we just, we had to change the plot around a bit, but
it happens in not only your films, but other films that I've worked in. Sure. I've spent so much on detail that sometimes, and that's what I spoke about, like in that thing that I was talking about, is if you're not going to like really, if you're going to just do a pan over something, it's like, tell your makeup artist, because I've spent time on like severed heads and things to where things are looking really realistic that I think they're going to like really spend some time on, but it's just a pan over. And I'm like, shit, I could have not spent so much time on that.
I guess like, I mean, you talk about things as much as you can, right? But then there's always that thing of on the day, right? And then you don't know necessarily, at the level we do things, how things are going to get lit, what kind of shots you're going to use, what you're going to do. So I guess in my head, it's just like, make it the best you can in case we need to get stuff.
Yeah.
But you want to try to plan so you don't waste people's time as well.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that, I plan for, like that beer can gag. I know I'm going to use it, right? But some stuff, like if a knife's sticking in, I don't know. Yeah, it sucks sometimes. Yeah. But also on like my end too, of having to, leave things on the cutting room floor, not include scenes that I love. Like there's scenes that I've not used that I adore and I can't because it doesn't fit with the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
or like I think in that one we had a cool kill with Logan with Michaela, tall gal.
Yeah.
What was her kill?
Hers was the radio was playing and it was in the neck, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the spray
It was spraying.
It was
spraying out of her.
Yeah.
And it was hitting the radio.
And I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of why I couldn't use that. It could have something to do with the plot. Yeah, it does, because a character that's supposed to be dead is like behind her, I think, or something. I can't remember. But that was one that was like, fuck.
I think in the
I
end,
loved that one.
It was just the shot of the radio with blood on it. That's
Yeah.
what you ended up
Yep.
using.
Yeah.
And I just remember going, you used my Lita Ford tape is in there, and now it's ruined because it's covered in blood. Just going to throw that out there.
Well, moving on. So how about like the last weekend of the last time we shot Night of the Witch, the pickup shot day, and this time we were shooting in an empty bar downtown.
Yeah.
We lucked out on our locations. Like the first weekend we shot it, we had a whole Safeway building, which is good for filming in, but also is kind of a pain in the butt to walk across.
Yeah.
Like we could have used some a golf
running
cart.
across.
Yeah. But then the club we had, the nightclub, it was 2 levels. It was like the bottom level and stairs to another level, and it wasn't too big. It was like a perfect amount of space.
Yeah.
And we did some fun stuff in that. What do you remember from shooting that one?
Yeah, that one was where we did do the torso pull out, which and then all that green blood for the witch, like her
we had
death.
so much green blood in it. It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was chainsawing because our main character chainsaws the witch.
Yeah.
And before that, someone shoots her with a shotgun twice, and so you have blood, green blood spraying out of her mouth, chainsawing her on the ground, blood flying everywhere, and I love that. I remember we had, I think we had a bunch of people like we've done before. Where like there was like 2 people with super soakers. There was someone with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
There was someone that just had chunks of shit to throw. Yeah. So there was like 3 or 4 people behind the camera, action, and then just super soakers, hoses, throwing chunks, right? That's
Yeah.
what we did, isn't
Yep,
it? Yeah.
yep.
What were you holding? Were you back there holding any of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, because it wasn't like a back there. It was we're crouched
Yeah,
down behind the camera guys here, and we're
Yeah.
all like down squatting and stuff around. And aim and don't get the witch in the mouth with blood. Yeah.
Poor Shannon. She played Shannon Strope played the witch, and she was a trooper. She went through some shit, but
She did.
Yeah.
the performance was great.
It
Yeah.
was. I was sad I missed that part because I had a broken foot that on the third one.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I just remember like craft services and everything was upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to like crawl up because there's no real power there. So like the elevator wasn't working or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like craft services, like
You were
hyping up,
crawling
like
up the stairs.
crawling up the stairs, and everyone's like, "Dude, it's okay." I'm like, "It's fine. They're sticky. It's fine. It's fine."
I felt bad. So at this point, were we engaged? No.
No.
We were
We were
yet,
not
yet
engaged.
to be engaged.
We were just dating.
We had to finish Night of the Witch first.
yeah.
But also, you were in charge of the Jim Bob character
Yes.
through Night of the Witch.
I love
Yeah.
Jim Bob.
And each one going back to the trailer, and then what we did. Then he had two versions in the short film, like in the past and then in the present.
Mm-hmm.
His stuff was really cool too. Like this is a photo of, what you were doing
Yeah.
for an older Jim Bob, and I really liked that character. I liked the first iteration that we did in the trailer where he was a little sketchier, and I liked his. But I liked all of it. I liked at the end how he has a whole strap of dynamite. He's great. He's got a cigar. I don't know. Tell me a little bit about his character, doing that stuff.
Well, it's kind of the same aspects for his character that I used a lot of time in theater to age people.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I enjoyed working with the theater, and I've talked with other effects artists that actually work in LA. And when I explain on panels about doing theater age progressions to film age, like they could do the film one, but theater is like, it's different because you have to be able to see it from like way far, and
Yeah.
bringing those concepts together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we age him much in clothing? Not really, didn't
No,
it was,
his clothing I think stayed the same.
it did, yeah. He's
I
just
mean, but,
wearing the
you
same
know-
overalls for like what, 10 years?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
why not when you're
Yeah.
always hunting witches?
Right?
That's my favorite. Hunting witches.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cocaine fueled fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was what was your favorite moment from shooting Night of the Witch through the whole thing?
I went on my property.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like epic for me because I didn't have to take anything anywhere.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
You're like, I'm all
I
here.
had my bed.
Right?
And
That's
I had,
nice.
I had all my stuff in my
Yeah,
art
you don't
room.
have to go anywhere.
No, because
Yeah.
usually when I'm going to set, I'm like, okay, well, I know what like I need, but then I need this and that because shit happens, and
Yeah.
so I pack my whole entire art studio pretty much into my car.
And you always forget something. There's always one thing that you
Yeah.
don't. That just happens, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I live way too far away to forget
Yeah.
stuff. So
That was really fun. I'd love to come out there and shoot something again. If let us invade. You do. I mean, having property to shoot film on is hard to come by.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did
they're
your
always
neighbors
welcome.
ever complain about all the?
They love it.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they love it. I've had a couple different films come out, people
Yeah.
doing shorts and stuff, and they've wanted to use my neighbors across from me, the Proctors,
Yeah.
their property, their driveway entrance or whatever. And I'll just text them and they're like, hell yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you'll get credit. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. Let me know when I can see it. And then they'd watch it like, hey, here's the link to it. And they're like,
Yeah.
gotta wait till the wife, she'll kill me. just so they can see their driveway.
Yeah.
entrance,
That's fun though. That's like people have fun with that.
Yeah.
They do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? What was the most challenging effect you've ever done for film or theater?
This one,
The beer can? Yeah.
the beer can. Yeah. I had made a couple different, I've made 2 prototypes and just working this one to make it work correctly
Yeah.
and hiding this here, and luckily you have the rim and stuff, but
Yeah, for sure.
this is a screen because you can't, as you have your hose, everything with these, when you're engineering them, everything has to do with your PSI, your hose length.
That's crazy.
And
I
the
know.
depth of the hose, like
Yeah.
how big it is and stuff, and your connectors. And then
It's a
when it
science.
comes out here,
Yeah.
you would just have like a faucet. So you have to have a perfect screen.
Yeah.
So
To
you get
get
a
that
spray.
spray.
Yeah.
So that has to be satisfying on your end to have like the most challenging effect turn out really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That-
Definitely. Yeah. Because trying to get a hose inside a beer can and a hole on the other end, and Yeah.
I can say
Patience.
that, like, when I do this gag again, I'm adding one other element to it, and I might do some other stuff where it's the same thing where, you know, beer can goes up and the knife goes through, but I might add that the hand is there as well. And that the hand comes out, and then this like spraying all over the place. So there might be some more elements to it. Like I gotta build on it, right? For sure. Because I was thinking about glass, and that no, I like the beer can. The beer can's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Beer can is fun.
Yeah, gotta do this gag
Well,
again.
and because then you get the crinkle effect when he grabs a hold of that too.
Yeah.
So
And that adds some depth, audio depth to it,
yeah.
for sure. Maybe just expand it to a tall boy
Yeah.
that crushes the can down.
You could just see Amy's like, oh my god, I'm not.
You know,
What's your- oh my god.
Oh, so then you have the beer exploding out the sides too. So you can like have it explode out the sides and spraying. It doesn't have to make logistical sense.
Yeah.
And then you
How many hoses are we fitting inside this?
as many as it
Yeah.
takes.
I like your face going, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, yeah, no, totally.
And then
that
you
would
can
be
like
cool.
have things rigged here where the sides go poof, and then
Yeah. Teresa Black, she said, I had to come to because we practiced this.
yeah.
She's like, I had to come because I had no clue how you were going to fucking pull that off.
That's awesome.
And I was like, either did I.
but figured it out.
Figured it out.
Well, we tested it. We tested it beforehand, kind of in our yard, in our backyard. We
did.
we brought the actors to do, you know,
Yeah.
some of that stuff, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did the throat stuff for him too, so they
Yeah.
would know what that was like.
So they knew how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya's throat slit was really cool too. I know that I think there was issue with like, you could see that like, you know, the skin was just on how we lit it. So we just had her do this.
Yeah.
But it was the payoff.
Oh, I think we had to do it over and over, and it's because of the moisture,
then
it
it
started to
started to-
separate.
yeah.
Yeah. But that was really cool too. That epic amount of blood spray was awesome. You really get epic blood sprays.
Yeah.
And then she lived. What?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Which I
With
always
some
think is
duct
fun.
tape.
You give someone with like horrific wounds, you know, the most horrific wound lives. Which you know, we just saw Scream 6 recently in the theater, and some of that happens. There's like at least one character gets like horrific, you should be dead wounds, and like they're wheeled out like, I'm fine, kiss me. But that's what
made
those
it.
movies are. So it's fun to elevate that for myself to just. The biggest wound lives is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Amy, tell us any projects you're currently working on, or you'd like to plug. What are you up to these days?
Well, I am officially retired from doing special effects makeup.
No, boo.
Sad.
I still
Suck.
What do I suck?
Beer can.
Yeah. So that happened a year ago last October. I worked Ron Ford's project, and it was Bigfoot in Love on my property.
I got to get him on the podcast soon.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
He's
Yeah.
so, and then I was like waiting for that one to get done because I just wanted to announce it. And I know I told you a couple times, like, I'm gonna retire. You're like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, I want to retire. No, come on, you love it. So finally, I was like, I gotta be done with it because I have such a passion. I love doing art, and I did it for 11 years here locally for film and everything. And then, and so I picked up the camera, and I can take that with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been working on I tell people I shoot the wild things. So it's called Moose Trax Photography, and I have a Facebook page, and I try to post everything that I'm working on with that. But I found my niche. Mm-hmm. I love photographing dead things.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind
We are
of
all for
it's
that
in
here.
the wheelhouse of effects.
Exactly.
And stuff. Yeah.
Well, and last year I was out in the field across from my place, and there was a deer carcass. It was the whole rib cage. It still had meat on it. It was red and fleshy. A beautiful bluebird day, snow, woods in the background, and I'm laying on the snow and I'm taking photos of this rib cage, and you get the blue sky and you have the flesh hanging and stuff, and it's just a beautiful shot. And I was like, why do we have to have like dead things
Not
be beautiful?
Right.
Exactly. Artistically presented. So then I was taking a friend about a month ago, I think, around through that field. There's a road now and stuff. And I was telling about how cool it is living out here. There's moose. We saw a moose alive. And I was like, oh, and then I think there's something, and I pull up and I said, open your door. I think that's a coyote. And it was a carcass of a coyote. And so we got out and we're checking it out and stuff. And it had, it looked like it was flayed open. Dang. And then there was another one in the snowbank. I was like, oh, my neighbors must have been out here shooting the coyotes because they're really, really bad. I'm like, this is awesome. So once he left, I came back with my camera.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I'm just laying there. I'm taking all these really cool artistic shots of that. And then I posted it up on some Facebook group. And then another person said, these are so amazing. You should post it in this morbid whatever page. And I was like, okay. So I joined that group and posted, and everyone's like, oh my God, these are amazing. And can I follow you? Do you have a social media? And then someone said, you should post in this beauty in death page. Cool. And I was like, okay. So I did that too. And everyone's like screaming for joy over it. And I was like,
awesome.
There is a niche for this.
Yeah.
That is. That's cool. And
That
it's
is cool.
it's a moosetraxphotography.com.
Yeah, it's Moose Trax with Trax.
All right, I'll put the link wherever you're listening to or watching this, and you can go check it out. Do you have anything for sale, or is it currently just checking everything out?
I do have, it's Smug Mug. It's a kind of like a web page. So all my work that I ever do, I upload it there, and you can order prints through Smug Mug.
Yeah,
I mean, you could get a blanket with a carcass photo on it. I mean, they have
go
everything.
buy her stuff, carcass stuff, great for Halloween or anytime, birthdays,
Anniversaries.
it just came to me. You should be a forensic photographer if you're in the realm of like legal stuff for like and you like photographing dead things.
Oh yeah,
Be a forensic photographer. Go take pictures of dead bodies and crime scenes.
You know what? It's the police that take these photos, and they suck at it. And FBI agents, I look at these photos and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, these are horrible.
I don't know how it works. I just know from TV that there's people doing this. Is it a thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, but it's within the police department. And usually they're using their cell phones these days.
Really?
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look at like when they're doing search warrants and they go in, like currently I was telling you that there's a murder up on the reservation, and I've looked at the photos from that, and I'm like,
and just on like cheap cell phones.
Yeah, whatever their issue on their cell
sucks.
phone photos. Yeah. So, and sometimes they're blurry, but
yeah. Well, that's cool. We'll have to check it out, and people that are listening or watching should check it out.
Yeah.
So, are you? What's the next step then with your photography? Yeah.
I am actually talking to a guy out in Kettle Falls who has where the Fish and Game has their carcass dump. Roadkills. So
Picture that.
Yep.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm gonna go and take shots in the carcass dump.
I just picture like a big truck going, and then it goes, and then, and you're like, woo, yeah, photos. Like just snapping photos of it, like going out. You catch like the rotted head smiling coming out of the. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But I do have on the 18th, I went up to the Kalispel tribe and I took photos of the buffalo up there.
Yeah.
So I have 5 pieces that are going to be at a Native American auction.
Oh,
so
cool.
on the
That's
18th.
awesome.
On the 18th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want a link for that, shoot it
Buffaloes
to me.
are
I'll put
very
it up.
beautiful. I remember there used to be Walk in the Wild here.
Uh-huh.
And I loved going to that to see the buffaloes when I was a kid. Like, that was
yeah.
my favorite thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of sad that that's not here anymore.
Go up to the Kalispell reservation. I mean, you can
Check
just
it
drive
out.
right onto the reservation there and
Check them out.
check them out.
Cool. Yeah. I do think, changing subjects again, that if anyone gets you back into FX, it would be me. I'll get you back for something. Eventually.
Just what I need a beer can, a tall boy, squish.
See, what'll happen is I'll have a script and it'll be really cool, and you'll read it and be like, "Oh, this is super cool," and then I'll like tap you for advice, and then you'll just get sucked back in for like one more run, one last
it's gonna
ride.
Be epic.
You know how those like retired cops and people in movies and people go for them for case I just need your help. You're like, no, and you're drinking like whiskey by the window.
I like my whiskey.
I'm done. I locked it long ago.
And then I pick up the
and
script
then you do,
again,
like-
and I'm like, God, this is really fucking good.
And then
you're-
like you have this trunk over here that's dusted and locked that nobody knows what it is. That you like, grandkids, stay away from there. This is all your effects gear. You open it up and there's like a whole montage thing.
Yeah.
And it'd be like on the day of filming, then you just roll up.
Yep.
I'm
With
here.
my cowboy hat on.
All right, you convinced me.
Yep. And I pull out my Superman.
So if you have any advice for up and coming effects artists for film and theater, what would you give them? If someone's wanting to break into it, start. You got any words of wisdom?
Well, of course, there's practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Network your ass off.
Network.
Yeah. Locally, like just looking into film festival type things, going to the theaters. The sci-fi world is really big. Like, go to the conventions and talk to people because people are filmmakers there too.
Yep.
And then always, most important that I'm a big advocate is the safety of the actors. Always. Don't just go off of trends because trends aren't safe.
Yes.
So research it and keep everybody safe.
Yeah. Safety first.
Yeah.
Yeah. We forgot to plug our shit. BloodyMaryPodcast.com to check
We
out
did.
merch or Amazon wish list. Go get some stuff.
We were just excited.
Yeah.
For sure. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? Because my Bloody Mary's getting kind of low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any?
good.
No? Cool.
I think our Bloodies Marys are dead.
Yeah.
So are we.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, Amy.
Thank you
Yes,
for having
thank
me.
you.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye-bye.